Whether we're introvert or extrovert, we all need to feel connected to others for our sustained well-being. I'm Vanessa King, Head of Psychology and Workplaces at Action for Happiness, and here to launch Friendly February, our theme for this month, based on our first two keys to happier living: giving and relating. Connect with others. So here are 3 tips you might want to try out, play with, experiment with this month. So the first is sending voice messages or making voice calls rather than written ones. Why? Well, studies have found that, of course, staying connected with others through whatever means is good. But when people hear our voice, their sense of connection and warmth towards us is greater. So there's something about the human voice that conveys more than just the written words. So that, it conveys our humanity and how we're feeling, etc., our energy. So this month, replace a few of your text or WhatsApp messages or your emails with either phone calls live or voice messages, and see how that feels. You might find it feels less awkward than you might anticipate. Certainly studies have shown that. The second tip this month is doing some tiny acts of kindness this month that you think can't possibly make a difference. Studies have found that often as givers, we discount the likely impact of tiny acts of kindness that don't really take much effort for us, they don't cost any money, they don't take much time. But the recipients, actually the impact was greater on the recipients than the givers imagined. So they felt a sense of connection, a sense of being cared for or thought about, and a sense of warmth to the other person, the person giving the thing. So it could be as simple as just noticing somebody needs a hand with some bags, or giving up a seat, or paying it forward with a cup of coffee, or taking maybe a biscuit or something, or a cake that you've made round to a neighbour. Whatever it is, even just a smile and a compliment. Tiny free things that can actually make a difference. So this month, think about how you can do sort of what I call 5-minute favours, little tiny things that take 5 minutes or less for people around you. And of course, if we can do those for people in our community, maybe strangers that we don't know, if we've got opportunity to do that, these are tiny acts of bridging across the divide. But in a time when there is growing social divide, these tiny acts of kindness are ways of kind of reaching out across those. So give it a go. So the third tip this month is thinking about, maybe an old friend or a family member, somebody that means something to you, but maybe you haven't seen for a long time or been in contact with for a long time. And you might even feel a little bit awkward that you haven't been in contact with, so awkward about reaching out. Well, studies have found that when we spend a bit of time reflecting on people, good friends or family members that we haven't seen in a while, really recalling what we appreciate about them, remembering, bringing to mind a time we spent with them, whether it's doing something special or just hanging out with everyday things, and really kind of vividly imagine that and work that through, then that makes us more inclined to reach out to them. So of course, do that. So bring to mind somebody you haven't seen in a while that means a lot to you. Spend a time thinking about that, and then reach out and connect with them, maybe even by a phone call or a voice message. So that's it for this month. There's 3 tips. So that's using voice messages or phone calls to replace a few of your texts or your emails. Second is doing tiny, easy, effortless acts of kindness for people around you, and particularly maybe even strangers in your community. And thirdly, bringing to mind somebody who means a lot to you, who you haven't seen in a while, really vividly bring them to mind and times you've spent with them, and then reach out and make contact. So Hope you enjoy experimenting with those. As ever, we love to hear from you on any of our social media platforms, and in particular the Action for Happiness app, which is free to download from wherever you get your apps from. It's a lovely, inspiring, supportive, positive community there. So maybe see you on there. Thanks very much for watching or listening, and see you here again next month.